Hello and welcome to Soul Guidance with Adriana. I provide intuitive guidance to help you see through your challenges. I have a reading for whoever needs to hear it this morning or this afternoon, whenever you're watching this reading. But I wanted to let you know I'm using a brand new deck. This is the Fairhexa deck. I hope I'm saying that right. I do not speak Swedish, but it is actually designed and created by the same woman who does the Crow Tarot. So if you know that deck or any of the offshoots, the Indie Crow or otherwise, same artist, completely gorgeous deck. I'm really excited to share these cards with you. I will also be creating an extended reading for you. The link is in the description below. And any advice that comes up, or if the reading is resonating as I'm going and you'd like some advice on how to handle what comes up, that will be in the extended, as well as any other messages that want to come through. Okay. So we're going to do just a simple reading to get us going and then see where we're pulled to go. Okay. All right, it's funny. This is the second pass at this video. I started a video and I didn't like where I was going, but these cards are really insistent. This one came out in exactly the same place. So I think that message is really strong right now. Okay, can you give me another card to represent where we are? Okay, who am I talking about? All right, we're at the High Priestess. This is kind of our crowning card here. The High Priestess is about making enough intuitive space for yourself so that you can really listen to and hear the messages, even if they're not what you want to hear. And what I'm feeling like, based on these other cards that are in front of me, is that your next step is not, it's not like pragmatically, it's not pragmatically prescribed. So there's a lot of mystery in your next step, because it's kind of like, okay, so let me go the other way. Here is where you are right now, the World card. So you have achieved something big in terms of your soul development. You're at a stage where you really feel the end of a cycle, that you've worked so hard to get to the end of the cycle, and there's this uplifted, joyful feeling coming out of this card. And that's where you are right now. But the theme of this reading, as I was saying, is the High Priestess. And so she is basically asking you to trust something within, asking you to trust the big voice, the big energy within, but to really understand that your way forward is not clear. Okay, it's not like a cookie cutter life where, okay, this step and then this step and this and this and this. It's, okay, I've reached the end of a phase. I feel that I'm sustaining the joy of this phase, because that's another message with this card, is to keep that joy sustained so that it can inspire you to get to the next place. But what I'm feeling like with the High Priestess is that it's just not, it's not scripted. It's just not known. And so it's almost as if you're making it up as you go along, and that's okay. It just means that you need to really honor the power of that inner voice and to not be afraid of where it tells you to go. Now the Death card, we have the Death card for what came in the past. So that's our ending. We have the closure that has allowed you to come to this place of fulfillment. This is, I know it kind of scared me at first, the image on this card, but it's actually a very sweet feeling. Like, it's a very innocent feeling. And this card is actually asking you to get in touch with that beautiful, kind of simple inner child, kind of this sparkle. I don't like the word sparkle. it's too out there. But the simpler self without all of the adult complications and the beauty of the simpler self. That's where this card is asking you to go, to literally shed all that stuff. And what's interesting is that the world, she's in white and she's going upwards. The death is in black, and that's kind of like the ashes pulling the burnt stuff off of you so that the light can just rise. Now, interesting, I like where this is headed for the future. 10 of Earth. This is about not just success, but having the success that can really sustain others behind you. It's not just like, yeah, I hit the jackpot and I've won the lottery. I'm choosing to create a destiny that can nourish and sustain others, nourish and sustain, my children if you have children, but it doesn't have to be taken that literally. There's enough for the future and there's more to come. And I think that's really the biggest message. This is a very positive message overall. Again, with this High Priestess, there is more to come. And look at her bat wings are the same color as these ladybugs and these apples. So, red being the color of fire, but also being that root chakra, more security, more safety, a better situation. There's more to come. So let me ask for any challenging energy. Is there any challenging energy here? Okay. 4 of water, 7 of water, 5 of water. Okay, so we've got some emotional challenges here. Okay, now let's just take a moment to commune with these cards for a second. Here's your 5 of water, so clear the loss. We've got the 7 of water, and we've got the 4 of water. Now, these first 2 cards here are combining to say that the challenge is what's going on in your mind emotionally, but it's not like the actual feelings you're feeling. There is a tendency to get distracted by either selfish, very narrow-minded concerns, or to get completely pulled off track by distractions, by allowing yourself to get swept away. I went into a different accent there. By something that is not actually helpful to you right now. So let's say you have something you need to do, but instead of doing that, not only are you procrastinating, you're allowing yourself to get distracted by something that is just completely irrelevant to you. There is also a sense of, I want to say futility here, because we've got this woman trying to grab a star instead of doing her work. And you've got this woman trying to reach out to someone who is so self-absorbed, so self-involved, that there's no way he's going to look back at her because he's more in love with himself than he is wanting to connect to someone else. And all of these kind of distractions, this is the story of Narcissus, the Greek story of Narcissus. The youth who fell in love with his own reflection and starved to death because he just sat there staring at himself all day. That's where we get the term narcissist, is from that myth, someone who's only involved with themselves. So if that is your situation where you're with a narcissist, they're only involved with yourselves, it has you going into this other world, this delusional world, where you're grabbing at things that aren't really important to you. They're not important to this something better is coming, this very practical, this very earthy and real, tangible future. So when you're stuck in those spaces, we've got the 5 of Cups, meaning that you're refusing to see the help that's available to you, either the future help or this guardian angel back here. Okay, so it's really funny because these challenges are so they're fighting what's going on with the other cards. The other cards are so solidly supportive, saying you've done an amazing thing and there's more to come. But then there's these other cards that tell me, okay, but you're sitting in an emotional delusion some of the time, a lot of the time. And I want to say it's connected to this high priestess and the fear of not knowing what comes next. It's one thing for me to tell you, hey, better things are coming, good things are coming. But of course we want to see evidence of that. And sometimes that's the point. There is no evidence. You have to be willing to listen inside and look into that space. So because of either not hearing that voice or not trusting that voice, or just maybe ignoring that voice, you're feeling kind of lost, like you were dropped, like someone or something or the universe dropped you. Okay. And I want to just get one more row, and then I think yeah, it's funny. It's one of these times where the reality is much better than your experience of the reality. You know, what's going on the soul level is much better than the emotions you're experiencing on the surface. It's really funny how this is working out for you. Okay. Now I'm going to go into the soul's message just a little bit, and then we'll get into some advice on how to get out of all that watery, feely, kind of not helpful emotion. Okay, soul's message, please. All right, Queen of Water, another water, and Page of Earth. Okay. Queen of Water and Page of Earth. The ultimate soul's message here is about responsibility. Being able to take responsibility only for what is your responsibility, okay? So taking personally someone else's behavior at any point, but especially someone who's very self-involved, not helpful for your growth. Trying to then, there's also a sense here of just taking on too much, that you're trying to take on too much emotionally, and this is about learning where that boundary is, of how much is really yours. And I want to go back to this message from earlier. Your soul is wanting you to live in the fulfillment of joy. It's wanting you to live in this space of joy. And all of these emotions are pulling you down, especially, I mean, look at this one. They're pulling you down away from that joy. So your soul's message in all of this is personal responsibility. What is yours? What is not yours? Okay, I want to continue on to the extended. We're going to look at advice on how to let go of a lot of that emotional turmoil you may be feeling, or the emotional kind of heaviness. And we're also going to go a little deeper into this soul message here. So I hope you have enjoyed this deck. I am certainly very much enjoying it. I feel like I could talk to you for 20 minutes about each one of these cards, but maybe that'll be a separate video. So I will look forward to seeing you for the extended if that has resonated with you, and otherwise I'll see you next time.